Did you know Career Tech trains Oklahoma's essential workforce?
Or that Career Tech is Oklahoma's leader for Earn While You Learn apprenticeship opportunities?
Did you know Career Tech programs are a low to no cost educational path?
Or that Career Tech can help you learn by doing.
So when Oklahoma needs us,
we'll be ready. Hello and welcome, football fans, to the Skordle Pater Pick'em Show. We're now well into the best month of the year. Baseball playoffs are going on right now on Monday night as we film this show. The Cubs are on, so if Jacob and I are distracted, you know why. We have OU Texas week, and already we're in week 6 of the Oklahoma high school football season. Tom Nelson, Mark Rogers, Jacob Bisahorst are on the panel tonight. As always, our two guests tonight are first-timers on the show. We have Nima Nabavi and Brian Bowling. Welcome to both of you guys. This is our first time again to have Brian on the show. He has spent, he's a 2004 graduate of Tonkawa High School and a member of the 2000 state championship football team and 2003 state championship basketball team. Brian later played football at Oklahoma State and is currently a sales professional for what he says is the best sporting goods team in the country, BSN Sports. Brian, again, thank you for coming on tonight. Our other guest, Nima Nabavi. Nima is well known to the show, friend of the show, but first time on here with us. He is the voice of the Cashin Wildcats on CWTV since 2019. Nima is a graduate of Norman High School and an OU grad, has been in Cashin since 2013. Put several kids through Cashin High School already and have 2 there currently. Nima, is that correct?
Yeah, 2 left. We're almost done. We're getting there, getting towards the end.
Several state championships and state appearances for the Nabavi kiddos, and Nima is blessed to be able to cheer on his kids on CashinWildcats.tv throughout the sports season. All right, we have 2 Skordle games of the week this week, Pawhuska and Tonkawa, with Tom and Adam on the call for that one in Tonkawa, and also Cashin at Hooker, which is a school network broadcast. So let's go ahead and jump into our network games. We're going to start the show in Class 3A District 1 with 2 4-1 teams squaring off in Kingfisher on Friday. Heritage Hall is 2-0 in district play and has looked impressive all year other than a 35-6 loss to a juggernaut Lincoln Christian team. Kingfisher also 2-0 in district play after a 57-42 shutout win at Purcell last week. Mark Rogers, start us off.
Heritage Hall, the last time they lost a district game was 2013 to Newcastle, 28-14. Newcastle is now in Class 5A. That's 81 straight district wins for Heritage Hall. It's 39 straight wins for Heritage Hall against anybody not named Lincoln Christian. So Heritage Hall's won 7 in a row in this series. They're really good again this year. I don't think they're going to get beat in district play, and I don't think it's going to be on Friday night. Kingfisher's been giving up some points, so I'm going to go with Heritage Hall.
Now, the Hall's Judd Williams Jr. had a big game last week in their win over Anadarko. 5 receptions, 170 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Also had a pick on the defensive side. He's already signed to go to play for the Golden Hurricane in Tulsa next year. Heritage Hall used the 2-quarterback system, Tegan Lawson and Hudson Ferris, and that's really clicking. They've scored 43, 48, and 52 points in their last 3 games. And like Mark said, Kingfisher has lost 7 straight in this series. Both teams are playing well right now, but you got to go with Heritage Hall.
Well, Nima is a Kingfisher County live and move in, so for the last decade plus. So we'll go to Nima, Heritage Hall at Kingfisher.
Yeah, it's hard for me not to think about those early Little League football days against Kingfisher, not immediately pick Heritage Hall, but definitely impressed with Kingfisher. Again, nice wins over Weatherford and Clinton in 4A, but I think the Hall is just too much right now. I will say it'll be a close game, so we'll go with Heritage Hall and a squeaker.
Brian Bowling.
Yeah, I have Heritage Hall as well. They proved last week when they got after Anadarko, seemed to be the real deal. Kingfisher seems to be much improved, and I think they'll do well in the playoffs, but Heritage Hall is a different animal, I think. So go with Heritage Hall.
Jacob.
Yeah, Heritage Hall just seems like each week they're making more and more improvements in like the little aspects of the games, and they've won three straight by 30 plus. Kingfisher definitely has, playmakers on the perimeter that can pop, but I think they have some question marks on their O line, their D line, and those are like the aspects of the game where Heritage Hall really dominates teams, especially in district play. Like Mark said, the domination they've had in district play over the last few years. Um, I do think Kingfisher's a playoff team. I think, but Heritage Hall is a Final Four team in 3A. And that 35-6 loss to Lincoln Christian doesn't look so bad anymore. Now you look at some of the other Lincoln Christian's other scores since then. So, but I got Heritage Hall a 14.5 point favorite, and I think they win the game 40-20.
We can watch Coach Roof's team on kingfishersports.tv for free. As always, just be sure to mute the commentator, Michael Swisher, for a better viewing experience. All right, let's go to pick'em game number 2. The Minko Bulldogs defeated Stratford 34-0 on a Skordle game of the week last week. Minko is now 5-0, but faces a tough test this week, traveling to Wynnewood. The Savages are also 5-0 on the year after a 37 win at Christian Heritage last week. Tom Nelson, give us a preview.
Well, the top two picks by the coaches in District 2 are going to hook up in Wynnewood. Both teams have rolled through their schedules except for one-score wins in each of their second games, meaning that their closest games for each of them have been that second week of the season, or second game, actually. Wynnewood shut out Minko 10-0 last year. I think they're a better team this year. I'm going to go with the home team. I'll take the Savages.
Mark.
Two great coaches here, Coach Wardlow, Brock Wardlaw, and Coach Osteen at Wynnewood. I think Coach Osteen's really got things turned around at Wynnewood. A huge number of guys that are out for football this year. I thought this was an absolute toss-up game. I think Wynnewood has not faced as difficult a schedule as Minko, perhaps. Minko's got the best win of any team here, or of either of the teams here, by beating Dibble. But I'm going to go with, agree with Tom. I'll go with Wynnewood.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to take Minko. I like everything that Coach Wardlaw does with his program, and I know a bit more about them than I do the Wynnewood. So I'm going to take Minko on this one.
Nima.
Yeah, so it's I've seen Minko for several years, a long time. A lot of respect for the program. The biggest O-line, tough kids, always great athletes. Another McMurtry, I think, at QB out down there. Certainly looking at the tail of the tape, it looks pretty even. So my tiebreaker is it's OU Texas, and bringing back the spirit of James Allen in the 1996 overtime game. I'm going to go ahead and pick Wynnewood as the hometown win there next Friday.
I like that. Jacob DeSource, go to you. Minko at Wynnewood.
Yeah, this is going to be a tight football game. Wynnewood obviously going to have home field advantage. Both teams sitting at 5-0. Home field advantage in the playoffs. Probably riding on this game for one of these teams. The winner's probably going to seal up, assuming they, take care of business the rest of the way. Wynnewood's got Phoenix Sparks, the wide receiver on the outside, who's a big play threat. He's definitely a standout. Senior quarterback, Jake Everett. Minko's got the Sebastian Valdez, the tailback. I know he's a workhorse, and he's been starting since his freshman year. Just going to be a really tough football game. I think it's going to come down to which team type of football that ends up getting played on the team, on the field. I mean, Minko's obviously run heavy. Whether Wynnewood can turn this into more of a shootout, I think is going to be to their advantage. I do have this a pick 'em at Wynnewood. I think very highly of Minko going in on the road, but I do think Wynnewood squeaks out the win 28-24.
All right, guys, let's go to pick'em game number 3. Our other Skordle game of the week last week ended in a 62-44 win for Sealing over Dewar. Sealing faces another tough test this week as they host district opponent O'Keene. The Whippets are 5-0 on the year and really haven't had a close game all season. Tom Nelson, tell us about this matchup.
Well, I'll tell you this. O'Keene has really impressed me. Remember this kid's name, Ace Long, had a huge game when I saw them whip Wacomas a couple of weeks ago. and had a chance to interview him after the game. They followed up that win by beating Pioneer 58-12 2 weeks ago. They took last week off. That said, Sealing is probably the best eight-man team in the state. They handled Doer, as you said, by 18 points last week. This is the first game of districts, and these teams are head and shoulders above anybody else in the district. It's for the district title, so nobody's looking past anybody here. Biggest game of the regular season for both these teams. Cats get one on the Dogs this week. I think Sealing's going to beat O'Keene, but this should be a fun game to watch.
Mark.
Sealing's really good. They won last year 50-28. Sealing has had the tougher schedule with the wins over Laverne and Dewar. They've won 5 in a row in the series. I think the last time that O'Keene won, they were both playing 11-man, 2007. Maybe it was a little bit before that. But anyway, I'm going to go with Sealing.
Nima.
Yeah, taking a look at the records and comparing, teams they've played. This is a tough one. Again, when you think about Northwest Oklahoma football, Sealing and O'Keene both stand out historically. I think I'm just going to have to, pull for Sealing and the other Wildcats in a victory coming up.
Brian.
Yeah, this one's unique for me because Rush Hunt's actually my nephew, and so my sister is a teacher at Sealing and Rush's mama, and I've had a front row view of the Wildcats for 4 years now, so it's pretty special to watch the success they're having. This will be if they make it. I think this senior class is they make the state championship. It'll be their fourth state title game to play in, and so I don't think that this group of boys are going to let down. I think that O'Keene is very, very well coached. But Coach Manuel usually has something up his sleeve in big games, it seems like. And so I've got Sealing and a close one.
Rush was our Skordle player of the week from week 5 action. Jacob Diesehorst, let's go to you.
Yeah, that's going to be a Northwest Oklahoma Classic. 2 undefeated teams, matching up. Sealing is like I said, is been a perennial power now, well established themselves as a state championship caliber team year in, year out. It's good to see O'Keene back amongst the ranks of the elite, playing at this level, making this a very interesting game. I think those seniors on Sealing, though, I agree. Rush Hunt is going to be the best player on the field, probably both sides of the ball. And that's saying a lot because there'll be a lot of good players on the field. Kelson Shook's another senior for Sealing who's a deep threat and a difference maker for them. I think that's what gives them an edge. That and home field advantage. 12.5-point favorites at home. I think O'Keene keeps it a little bit closer than that, but Sealing ends up winning 35-24.
It is interesting. That O'Keene went kicking and screaming from 11-man down to 8-man a few years ago, and I think it's worked out pretty darn well for him. It took him a couple of years to make the transition, but I think everybody's pretty happy in O'Keene now.
Two Squirrel schools facing off there in Sealing on Friday. Wish both of them the best on Friday and throughout the rest of the season. Let's go to Pick'em game number 4, Class A2, District 4, where 2 of the top 3 teams in that district will square off in Hominy on Friday. The Woodland Cougars are 2-0 in district play after a 50-0 shutout of Barnsdall last week. The Hominy Bucks are also 2-0 in district play with wins over Summit Christian and Ketchum. Mark Rogers, who moves to 3-0 in that district on Friday.
Both teams have lost to Pawnee and Pawhuska, and these teams are very familiar with each other in Osage County, not very far apart. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'll go with the Hominy Bucks. I think it should be very, very close, but I'll go with Hominy.
Tom.
Yeah, winner of this game probably wins the district. I think the difference is the home field. Has me picking Hominy.
Brian.
Yeah, I've got the Bucks as the other Bucks as well. Coach Christensen's, he's got a great thing going in Hominy. They've always had great athletes, and Coach Goat as well though has things going at Woodland. But Hominy in this one for me.
Yeah, both coaches are both at their alma maters, so that's pretty cool deal for those guys.
Absolutely. Neiman Nawawi, let's go to you. Woodland at Hominy.
We'll just finish it up. I'm going to go with Hominy. I just feel like, again, similar resumes. Hominy just maybe a little bit more battle tested and ready to go at home.
Jacob.
Yeah, both these teams have two losses on the season, yet they're probably still the two top teams in A2. And this matchup is the top matchup in A2 so far this season. Obviously, Hominy being at home gives them a little bit of an edge, I think. When you put two teams like this, as even on paper as these two teams are coming into it, uh, you know, games like this, these big district games, I think the line of scrimmage, interior battle makes a big difference. Who's going to win those one-on-ones on the outside in the passing game? Who's going to pick up third downs, sustain drives, and then what's the next factor in a game like this? Home field. So I got Hominy, an 8-point favorite at home, and I have Hominy winning the game, 28-21.
All right, we're halfway done with our network games. We're going to spend the next couple of games in 8-man football. The Garber Wolverines 4-1 on the year and start district play at Pioneer. The Mustangs 3-2 on the season with losses in their last two games to really good opponents, Sealing and O'Keene, that we just talked about. Tom Nelson, who moves to 1-0 in District 1 this week?
Yeah, the Mustangs have lost their last two, but heck, I mean, O'Keene and Sealing, those are pretty good losses. The real season starts this week with district play. Both teams took last week off. They should be rested and focused. This is a rivalry game, and those of us in Garfield County, we know it. Garber and Pioneer is a pretty good rivalry. They're not that far apart. The Mustangs have the upper hand in the series historically. If Pioneer can get back on track and play like I saw them play at Timberlake a few weeks ago, I think the Mustangs are going to knock off the Wolverines.
Mark.
Yeah, I mean, what a murderer's row the last three for Pioneer. I mean, started off by beating Timberlake there. Last year, Garber ended Pioneer's 5-game winning streak in the series. Tough one to pick, but I think Pioneer knocks off Garber.
Nima.
Yeah, I think everything from the history and everything points to Garber in terms of my heart, but I just looking at the schedule and where they're at, I got to go with Coach Overstreet and the Mustangs to win Friday night.
Brian.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not take a look at the Sealing and O'Keene and kind of overlook that because there's not many teams make it past halftime with those schools. So I've got Pioneer and Coach Overstreet on this one, but I think it's coming down to the end. I think a lot of people thought Garber might be down this year, as many seniors as they lost off last year's team, but they seem to have just kind of reloaded. And so, but I've got Pioneer in a close one.
Jacob, finish us up with Garber at Pioneer.
Yeah, this is a hard game to pick. If there's one thing that a Pioneer, a 3-2 record, of course, those two losses are to the two teams we already just talked about, two of the best teams in 8-man football. But they have shown a propensity to give up chunks and have tough time controlling high-powered offenses. Garber definitely has a high-powered offense. That's what they have going for them. Of course, they have that kind of odd loss early in the season to Cherokee. I think they've regrouped since then. Traveling on the road at Pioneer, this is an E-town crosstown battle, district game, a lot on the line Friday night in Enid, and with these two teams lock heads, and I expect a tight football game. I had this game a pick 'em as well, which tells you what I think, how highly I think of Garber. The computer's telling me Garber's going to win this football game. I'm looking at my AI printout here. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I look at my AI printout, and they're telling me Garber's going to win this football game. So as much as I have trouble picking against the home team, I'm going to go with Garber and a big road win at Pioneer.
Again, two Skordle Network schools with Garber and Pioneer. Good luck to those two schools. And let's go to pick'em game number 6. We'll go to Class B2 District 2. The top two teams of that district square off in Walika on Friday as the Outlaws host the Surreal Pirates. Both teams 5-0 on the year and have dominated opponents thus far. This should be a really great matchup. Tom Nelson, who gets the win?
Cyril has won as many games this year as they did last year. They're 5-0, and their coaches in the district picked them last in the preseason. Nash Harmon's one of the best athletes in the state. He's a dangerous dual threat quarterback. They got a couple of good wins over Medford and Empire, but this is Waletka, the defending state champs in Waletka, and I think reality hits the Pirates pretty hard this week.
Are you calling for a 45, Tom?
I'm not going to say that, but
All right.
I just say that Waleeka is pretty darn good.
Fair enough. Mark Rogers.
Well, the district coaches should have known better with Bruce Harrell going to Cyril. I mean, they've been good in athletics and boys basketball and all that. And so I don't think he was moving to Cyril just to coach a bunch of dudes that weren't going to be very good. So they blew it. They got a good win over Medford, but this is definitely a stepping up in class against Waleeka. I know we talked about Sealing might be the best team in this class, but I mean, Waleeka is going to have a lot to say about that because they won the state championship game last year against those guys. So I'm going to go with Waleeka here and still think Cyril is going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Brian Bowen.
Yeah, Waleeka, and I don't think this one's close.
Nima.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the schools. Did a little research, did some chat GPT as well. And I saw defending state champs and returning most of their guys. So it was an easy pick for me for Waletka, but certainly love to be able to sit back and watch.
Jacob.
Yeah, I was looking over some of the players to watch in this game, and really was Nash Harmon, the quarterback for Cyril, is averaging over 150 yards rushing a game from the quarterback position. He's obviously also a big part of the passing game. They've got some good wide receivers. He's got good receivers to throw to. But Waleeka, like everyone across the board has said, that this is the team to beat in B1 until somebody does. I think we might see a rematch in the state championship game when it gets cold outside, and both Sealy and Waleeka are still playing. I expect the Pirates to be there as well, though. I expect them to be a playoff team this year and to be in the mix, but not this week. Waleeka, I have them a 14.5-point favorite, and I think they win 45-24.
It's time to enjoy the sweet taste of Brahms Strawberry Shortcake Sundae. Our creamy vanilla ice cream is nestled on top of Brahms fresh-baked golden bundt cakes, with spoonfuls of delicious strawberry topping all around, complete with fluffy whipped cream and a cherry, to create the perfect flavor combination. Strawberry goodness is waiting for you at Brahms.
All right, let's talk about our Skordle games of the week. The first Skordle game of the week is in Class A1 District 3. Coach Hennessy's Pawhuska team is 6-0 on the year after a 42-40 win over Pawnee a week ago. The Huskies face a really tough test on the road at 4-1 Tonkawa. The Bucks' only loss came at Stroud 18-13 a few weeks ago. Tom Nelson, you are calling this game with Adam Diesehorse. Give us a preview.
It's going to be a slugfest between two very well-coached teams. Pawhuska is the only 6-0 team in the state. They played 0 week and haven't taken a week off yet. They will after this game. Coach Hennessy's built a great program over there. I was in the student section at K-State with about 10 of my friends. That was about the only people that were in the student section at K-State when Coach Hennessy was playing up there back in the bad old days. But so I've been following his career, for a long, long time. His teams play hard and fast. Caden Foreman's a really good quarterback. He's surrounded by talent around him. He had 264 yards and 5 TDs passing last week. Handed Pawnee their second loss. Has 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions through 6 games. On defense, they attack 4 guys that average over 10 tackles a game. Jaden Henley has 17 tackles for loss. The Bucks are going to punish you on both sides of the ball. Strength and experience in the trenches, deep at linebacker, led by Lucas Keith. Caden Duvall is one of the best wide receivers in the class. Big, tall kid at 6'4". Pawhuska's won the last 2 in the series. Won big a year ago, 50-12. Pawnee probably has little to say about it, but this is most likely your championship game in A1 District 3, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to see it up close and personal.
Mark?
Yeah, Pawhuska's really good this year. I think that they are emerging as one of the top contenders to Rejoice Christian, the defending state champions. Um, should be a really good game. Tonkawa's got a lot of great tradition, and enjoyed watching that program throughout the years. But I'm going to go with Pawhuska over Tonkawa.
All right, let's go to Tonkawa grad Brian Bowling.
Yeah, this one's going to be a good one. Coach Hennessy's built a great program at Pawhuska. He's first class in what he does, and he's got a great staff. He's got a lot of talent, and he reloads year after year. Coach Harmon's come in and done a great job for us at Tonkawa, and I'm excited to watch this one. Weston Freeman, Caden Duvall, all the seniors on this squad are battle tested. I think they won it. This one's going to be a close one. There's going to be a lot of orange and black there this Friday, but I think the boys and the Buccaneers are going to get this one in a close one.
Oh, I just thought about that's going to make my job even tougher. Both teams in the same colors. Jeez. I do got to say real quick, because I talked about Coach Hennessy. I've been doing Coach Harmon's game since he was like a freshman at Garber too. So it's like playing for his daddy. So I go way back with both these coaches. And I got to say, Coach Harmon reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. I was looking for information about you guys, about the Bucks, and he reached out to me, and we had a nice little chat back and forth online. So both these coaches.
I was just thinking about the number of head coaching wins in this game, between Coach Hennessy, Coach Harmon, Coach Bean, Coach Reinert.
Yep.
Those names alone, I can't even imagine how many head coaching wins are in just those four names alone.
Yeah, and Coach Hennessy, he's been doing it for a long time, been really good at Pawhuska for a long time. Could have a couple of state championships at Pawhuska if not for the sons of our next picker, Neiman DeBobby.
Hey, listen, I've had the pleasure of watching and calling games for Cashin against these two programs. And I think the words that, we've been using to describe both of these coaches and squads are, again, first class. I mean, when I think about Tonkawa, it's about physicality. Historically, they're going to hit you in the mouth, and those are things to expect. I know even talking with Coach Shack in the days when Cashin was playing Tonkawa, and then just two amazing games. One of the best games I've ever called was a semifinal game with Cashin and Pawhuska and Ponca City. Both the 2000 and the 2001 games I thought were basically the pseudo state championships. Ton of respect for Coach Hennessy and what he does. Has a ton of firepower. Will try to outscore you by a gajillion points. I think this one is going to be a very tough game and close one. And I think in this situation, I think Coach Hennessy and the Pawhuska Huskies will just have a little bit too much for Tonkawa. But certainly it's going to be a great game, and it's to be expected, as that district, I would say, is probably one of the top two districts in terms of overall depth and toughness in A1 here in the state.
All right, Neiman taking the Huskies. Jacob D. Sources, go to you. Pawhuska at Tonkawa.
Yeah, this is definitely a game worthy of Game of the Week tag. It's going to be just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker Friday night high school football game. Every game at Tonkawa, on the road at Tonkawa, what you expect. Just tough, hard-nosed football. But Pawhuska is well coached. Coach Tennessee got these boys ready to play. They know what to expect going on the road at Tonkawa. They know the district championship could be on the line. This is one step in the road to a district championship. Just two teams. What's going to be the difference? Key battles. Pawhuska's O-line and D-line, but their O-line is going to have to handle, Jax Thompson and Gavin Ward on those Tonkawa's front. If they can get pressure if Tonkawa can get pressure on Pawhuska's quarterback, they can, kind of mix up Pawhuska's high-powered offense, keep them off balance, maybe slow the game down a little bit. I think that bodes well for Tonkawa, and that's what they did against Fairview to win that game earlier in the season. Was they controlled the tempo of the game. They made it a Tonkawa game. That's what's going to take to beat Pawhuska. I got Pawhuska a 4.5-point favorite going on the road at Tonkawa, and I think Tonkawa keeps it close, but I think Pawhuska comes out with a very close win and a nail biter, 31-28.
Adam tells me that some Tonkawa students are going to be helping with the broadcast on Friday night with camera work at TonkawaBuccaneers.tv. So really appreciate those students helping out with Tom and Adam on the call on Friday. Let's go to our second Skordle game of the week. This takes us to Class A1 District 1. Two powerhouse schools will face off in Hooker this Friday. The undefeated 5-0 Cashion Wildcats take the 240-mile drive to Hooker to take on the 4-1 Bulldogs. Hooker's only loss was in early September to Spearman, Texas. Mark Rogers, give us a preview Cashion at Hooker.
Man, I would say going on the road is a really big obstacle to overcome on this. I mean, it's a long bus ride to get up there to Hooker. Hooker's only lost this year to the Spearman Lynx, one of the top 2A teams. And Texas, they are not maybe as good as they have been in the last couple of years. Brendan Thompson playing at Mississippi State is on that squad. Groover, I think, is the top 2A team in the Texas Panhandle this year. But I'm going to go with Cashion. I think their quarterback play has been elite this year. They're kind of loaded across the board. They've spent the last couple of years rebuilding and building up to this season. And I think Cashion is a for sure like semifinal team, maybe even more than that. So I'm going with Cashion.
By the way, this is a school network broadcast. The Hooker Bulldog Network will be doing the stream. Shane Metcalf, who we had on the show last year, and his crew. I believe Nima and his partner Chris, you guys are doing a Manning cast type show back home in Cashion. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna have the soda pops and the recliners, and we'll be letting the guys in Hooker call the game, and we'll just give our 2 cents regarding how the game's going from a Cashion homer perspective. It'll be fun.
Looking forward to that. Tom Nelson, let's go to you. Cashion up Hooker.
Well, a 4-hour drive for Cashion to the Panhandle for a game they've circled since Hooker drilled them last year, 54-14 at Maxon Field. But this is a much better Cashion team. With the exception of a 1-point win at Velma Alma, they've buried their foes by more than 25 points a game. Hooker's got Justin Palacios. He's still only a junior. Went over 4,000 career rushing yards last week. He scored 54 touchdowns. On the defensive side, he leads the Bulldogs in tackles and tackles for loss as well. I think that Coach Shaq crew uses that bus ride to get dialed in, though, and the Wildcats get a close one on the road over the Bulldogs.
All right, let's go to the voice of CWTV, Neiman Navabi.
Yeah, this one's been circled for a while, and if you're thinking about District A1 here, the road goes between Hooker, Fairview, and Cashion, and certainly you guys have hit it on the head. This was a Cashion team that's taken its lumps over the last couple of years with the young guys, and now those young players are all now key specialists, and again led by junior Kellen Smith, a quarterback, dual threat. It's been fantastic through the air, on the ground, rival fields, Grayson Davis. Those guys have been phenomenal, and Coach Wood has got his defense again in a position to attack at all levels, led by Slade Williams and Austin Compton. I feel like the only obstacle, the only thing negative against Cashion in this game is the bus ride. And so if you take a look at where Wildcats have been all season long, and just what you would expect in terms of a small drop-off with Hooker, a lot of great athletes. I've always been impressed with the Bulldogs over the last years, not just in football, but in multiple sports. I do feel like it's the time where the Wildcats do get it. And if you're looking for a tiebreaker, I'm going to go with Coach Shackelford and looking to win 203 on his career here over the newer coach, Tanner McBee. So let's go Wildcats and a good one on the road.
Brian Bowling.
Yeah, that's the 4-hour trip is a tough one, but I've got Cashion. They're battle tested, experienced. They've probably made this trip before, I assume. So I've got Coach Shaq and the Wildcats.
Jacob Resource.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of tough games on the schedule. I know Coach Shaq going to have his boys ready. It's a mental test. You have to pass to get leave that early in the afternoon and get down, get on the empty roads of the Oklahoma Panhandle to get out to Hooker, Oklahoma for a 7:00 kickoff. But I think by the time the warm-ups are over, all that rust will be worn off. Coach Shaq will have his boys ready to play, and what will be a very good football game. Hooker's. I don't think Hooker's lost a home game in a while. I have to check the data for that, but it's been a long time since somebody's gone into Hooker and stole a district game from them, especially when they've been better these last few seasons. If anybody can do it, it's Cashin this season. Uh, you know, again, I'm going to lean on my friendly AI friend MJ, and if I get this wrong, then Shaq, you get free tickets to another OSU game. Congratulations! I couldn't pay to give those away probably, but I think Hooker's going to win this game. I just think Hooker's going to find a way to win it 28-20. But it's going to be the kind of motivation Cashin needs to keep their season building for the postseason. But I just think this is going to be too much of a test for them, and I'm so confident I'm putting OSU tickets on it.
All right, those are our
which is like a 5 out of 10 confidence, right? At best.
Those are our 8 Skordle Network games that you can watch for free. Skordle app, Skordle.tv, or any of the school individual websites. We're going to quickly discuss 4 non-Skordle Network games this week. Cannot watch these games on the Skordle Network, but will be really great matchups. We're going to start at the top. Mustang at Jinx. Mark Rogers.
I like Mustang a lot to start the season. They've had a little bit of injury issue with Jaden O'Neal. He's back last week. I think Jinx has really showed that they've kind of separated. They came down and really handled Norman pretty easily. Mustang's got the potential to give Jinx a good game, but I think that Owasso, Jinx, Bixby, and probably reverse order there, are the 3 teams to beat in Class 6A Division I. So I think that Mustang might be able to score some points in this game, but I think Jinx is going to win.
Tom.
Yeah, Mark mentioned it. Jaden O'Neal's got a couple of games under his belt since his knee injury. And the quarterback, he took target practice against Enid High last week. He was 14-22 for 263 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Plainsmen were a bug on the windshield. But Jinx just smoked one good Oklahoma City area team last week, and I think they're going to beat another one this week. So, yeah, Jinx has got this one.
Brian.
Yeah, Jinx. Got Jinx. Mustangs had some good wins, but Jinx just seems to have something good going this year.
Nima.
Yeah, Jaden O'Neal was maybe the potential X factor, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It should be Jinx and a good one.
Jacob.
Yeah, I think Jinx really showed going on the road to Norman last week and just absolutely dominating every aspect of the game, offense, defense, special teams. That just shows you that the advantage the East Siders have this season. Bixby obviously one of the top ranked teams in the country. Jinx is not far behind Bixby in dominance this year. I expect all things are pointing toward a Jinx-Bixby rematch in that state championship game. And as exciting and much firepower as Mustang has and as much fun as they're going to be to watch the rest of the season, I do expect big things. Once Jaden O'Neal's really getting settled in there at quarterback, and Mustang's definitely one of the best teams in Oklahoma, Class 6A football, but no match for Jinx, not going on the road. I got Jinx 18.5 point favorite, and I think they win and cover 42-21.
All right, 3 more games to pick. If you stay till the end of the show, Mark Rogers will tell you whether John Mateer is going to play at Cotton Bowl on Saturday, so stick with us. Our next pick'em game, Fort Gibson at Grove. Mark, we'll go to you.
Grove lost last week at Cushing in kind of a high-scoring affair. This is probably another high-scoring affair this week. I think Fort Gibson's pretty good. This is almost a toss-up. I kind of want to lead to, again, the home team in this, but I'm going to go with the Tigers over the Ridge Runners. I'll go with Fort Gibson.
Tom.
I think it's going to be a tough one as well, but I think Fort Gibson, they're pretty good now, but I think they've got a great future. You look at their stats, almost all their numbers are being generated by underclassmen. Their sophomore quarterback, Carson Davis, is playing well. Junior Cash Keys leads them in rushing, and he's a threat to catch the ball as well. Grove won this one big a year ago. This game's at Grove. I think I'll take the Ridge Runners, but I think that the future's bright for Gibson.
Nima.
Grove area, Veneta area is fantastic for vacationing and getting on a boat. I think Fort Gibson is the team to pick for football, though. So we'll go with the home squad.
Ryan.
I'm going to go with Grove on this one. I think they've had a little tougher schedule, and I know they played Cushing tight last week, and Fort Gibson's had a great season, but I'm going to go with Grove on this one.
Jacob.
Yeah, this is going to be another really good football game. I expect two teams be ready to play when they lock up. This is a huge district game. Grove won this game last season, so Fort Gibson's got revenge on his mind. Grove, has shown this season sitting at 4-1. Been really good at home. I just feel like home momentum, defensive strength. They've had several shutouts. A roster with lots of seniors in the trenches will be the difference for Grove. I have them a 10.5-point favorite, and I think they win at 35-28. Grove 35-28.
Our next pick'em game is Wewoka at Allen. You actually can watch this matchup on WewokaTigers.tv. So disregard what I said earlier. This one will be available for free on Skordle. Mark Rogers, Wewoka at Allen.
Wewoka. Caden Boswell, really nice job with that team this year. They're doing a good job. They keep winning games. Big win a couple of weeks ago at Central Salisaw. Allen has played well, but I'm going to go with the Tigers over the Mustangs.
Tom.
Yeah, Allen had lost a couple, but got back on track by just hammering Mounds last week, 56-7. Wewoka's been on that trend going up, just getting better every week. This is a shootout game a year ago, 52-46 Wewoka, and I think Wewoka will get it done again and not as close as last year's game.
Brian.
Yeah, I've got Wewoka. They've watched a little bit of highlights and things on them. They look really athletic, and they seem to have it going on.
Nima.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wewoka as well. Got to go with the Skordle partner, but certainly just looking better resume and had a chance to take a look at a couple of their games and certainly feel like they're in a spot to pick up win number 5 on the season.
Jacob.
Another coin toss, district matchup. Wewoka going on the road to Allen. Allen's one of the best 2 and 3 teams in the state. They've Quentin Box is a senior quarterback. Davian Bird, senior running back. Wewoka, its strengths are real. They're they when they execute, they can put up big numbers on people. That win over Central Salisaw a few weeks ago, I think, was a really impressive win. They grinded that one out and showed they can win multiple styles of football. They're going to have to figure out a way this week. I think this is going to be a lot closer game. I got Allen and Wewoka pick them at Allen, and I actually am going to take the home team to win 28-20. Taking Allen.
All right, it's our last pick'em game. Ryan at Tipton. Tipton. Tom Nelson, we'll start with you.
Kind of hard to say. Tipton, Tom. Okay. Well, Ryan has never beaten Tipton. 0-12 dating back to 2002, but they've become very familiar with each other over the past couple of seasons. Tipton's wins of 16, 8, and 36 points over the last 2 years. Cowboys have a dynamic quarterback. His name is Noah Torres. He's hard to slow down. I'm really a fan of what Coach Tony Tomberlin has done at Ryan, building that program up, especially over the last couple of seasons. I don't pick against Tipton very much, but I'm going to this week. I'm going to ride with the Cowboys to pull off the upset.
Tom taking Ryan. Mark Rogers.
I think Tom's right on this. I mean, it is tough to pick against Tipton, but Ryan's kind of been building. This is one of the best games in the state, period. So, I think it's going to be a fantastic game, but I'll go with the Cowboys.
Nima.
Yeah, just taking a look at some of their scores. I see they put 84 up on Central High and scored no less than 46 on the season. So certainly I'm going to go with Ryan and offer up that offense on Friday travels.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tipton. Just the tradition and 8-man football, and they've the success they've had over the years, and I'm going to ride with Tipton.
All right, last pick, Jacob Usorse.
Yeah, an interesting fact from that Ryan's win over Central, where they scored 84. They ran for 511 yards in that game. as a team. I don't see them run for 500 yards this week against Tipton, although I could see this end up being a shutout. Tipton has a couple of surprising losses on the schedule, but yet they're still, the fact remains they're a class juggernaut. They have the pedigree, maybe a few blips on the map, but they're going to be motivated to defend their house and uphold that status. I got this game of pick'em as well. I'm making it easy. I'm calling these tight ones pick'ems. And I'm going to go with the home team. I think Tipton, Ryan might be the better team, but I think Tipton's pedigree, their experience, their just home field advantage, and especially in these tight moments like this, will be the difference. And I see Tipton winning 34-28.
All right. Well, that's all the picks from us. Thank you for joining us on the Skordle Pater Pick'em Show. Be sure to tune in to Skordle.tv or the Skordle app so you can watch those network games that we just discussed. Thanks as always to our sponsors and our guests tonight, Brian and Eba. You guys did a great job. Welcome to come back on the show anytime. Loved having you. Enjoy all the football this week, Oklahoma, and we'll see you back next week.
6 surgeons, 4 locations, 1 goal: to improve the health and lives of people in Oklahoma. At Oral and Maxillofacial Associates, we treat every patient like family. As the preferred dental implant and oral surgery specialist of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and with over 30 years of service to our community, we are trusted by professionals and dedicated to expert care. With 4 convenient locations around the metro area, we are here for you. Trust the experts at OMA. Visit our website, www.oma.